On a Sunday morning, they want me to put out some content. Sitting here messing with these Steam Deck viewers, boy, and these AMD fans. Hello, viewers. Another beautiful day. Yeah, hope your five senses work. Health and strength is good. Or excellent. What? You know I'm just messing with you guys. Anyway, what I got for you guys? Let's see, what do we got? Oh, we're gonna talk about we got some AMD news again, and we got some Steam news and Team Fortress news. So you know, I gotta keep you Steam Deck fans in the loop. Anyway, first things first. Team Fortress 2 saves Team Fortress Petition has been delivered to Valve headquarters HQ. The people behind the Save Team Fortress Petition have gifted Valve a book filled with everyone's signatures as this free Steam game keeps thriving. It says your name could be in Valve's headquarters. It's weird even typing that out, if I am honest, but it isn't any less true if you signed the famous Save TF2 petition. You now have been immortalized in a book that sits in the building where they make the likes of Portal, Half-Life, Deadlock, and of course Team Fortress. Yeah, it says the grassroots campaign asking Valve to do something about Steam shooter botting crisis worked. So to celebrate a gift for the Steam for the team, now it sits somewhere in the office. Team Fortress 2 was in a dark place mere months ago. Bots were running rampant. The free Steam game review dropped to mostly negative for the first time ever, and Valve was silent, so players decided to do something about it. They launched a petition demanding Valve get rid of the bots. It worked. And then it says Valve started waves of bot bans and went hard against appeals. The Team Fortress 2 summer update launched, and the official Team Fortress comic is coming back. The shooter is healing, and player numbers are healthier than ever. So to celebrate these milestones and commemorate everyone who signed the initial Save Team Fortress 2 petition, the content creators behind the project have a gift for Valve. And then they say says 340,000 plus names all compiled into one book. This is a symbol of the astounding amount of people that love Team Fortress 2 and want to see it flourish. Team Fortress 2 YouTuber The What Show says the book has now reached its destination at Valve headquarters. The future is looking bright for Team Fortress 2. Thanks for taking part, everyone. According to fellow TF2 content creator Wheezy, a group went to Seattle to give Valve the book as a gift. Troll names had to be removed, of course, but hundreds of pages of players' names are now in Valve's headquarters. It wasn't easy though. There was a scam Team Fortress 2 petition making rounds trying to steal your Steam details, and the real petition got so desperate it calls on players to stop buying microtransactions. After years of bots ruining the game, players were finally heard, and Valve did what needed to be done. And then it says if you're looking for even more to play with friends, we've got the best multiplayer games to boot up on your rainy day alongside some stellar old games. Keep you busy. Anyway, alright, what's the other one I got here? I gotta keep you Steam Deck fans up to date. You know me. Let's see. Steam has hit another concurrent player record as the huge fall PC game season continues. It says just 2 weeks ago, Valve's Steam service hit a new online concurrent player mark of 37,266,405 gamers today. Thanks in part to some new games hitting the service, Steam reached a new concurrent player high mark. Officially, the Steam website showed that early on Sunday, 37,606,071 online players logged onto the service. Unfortunately, the SteamDB website showed that the concurrent player number was slightly higher at 37,633,514. Either way, the number showed that Steam had over 300,000 more players online today than it did 2 weeks ago. More of those new players likely came from the early access release of the third-person sci-fi shooter Warhammer 40,000 Space Marines 2. The game, developed by Saber Interactive, published by Focus Entertainment, can be played online if gamers purchase the more expensive Gold or Ultra Edition on Steam. And then it says here, since the game has not been officially released, it hasn't shown up on Steam most player lists. However, SteamDB showed that well over 100,000 players have signed up to play the game online at once. It launched early this week. The game is currently the top-selling title on Steam, and its officially launch will happen on Monday, September 9th, tomorrow. Another factor in this new Steam concurrent player record is the continuing success of game science action RPG Black Myth Wukong. According to SteamDB, the single-player game had over 2.4 million players online 2 weeks ago and still had over 1 million players online this week. And then it says the fall PC game release season has just started, and we have some major release still to come. That includes titles like Frostpunk 2, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Era, History Untold, Towerborn, Path of Exile, Dragon Age, the Veilguard, Stalker 2, Hearts of Chronobeat, and many more. We could see that Steam concurrent record was broken many more times before the end of 2024. Yeah. It just shows you that people are playing video games, folks. Alright. It does show you, that's what it shows you. People are gaming. Oh yeah. This is autumn season, end of summer, autumn, winter season. People are going to be home. So people are going to be playing. Anyway, alright. And for you AMD nerds, I got something for you. Yeah, you. Says here, AMD Anti-Lag 2 SDK now available at GPU Open for direct game integration. It says AMD promise improved latency reduction with Anti-Lag 2 SDK, which is now available to game developers through GPU Open. AMD, then it says today, wait a minute, it says AMD Anti-Lag 2 reduced the latency even further by optimizing the game processing pipeline. It says today, AMD announced the availability of its newest anti-lag, anti-gag technology, Radeon Anti-Lag 2. The Anti-Lag 2 improved the game latency for quicker response over by optimizing the game processing pipeline, enhancing the gameplay for competitive gamers. AMD tweeted on X, but I still call it Twitter, saying, looking to get even more out of anti-lag technology. Now you can reduce your game latency even further by integrating Anti-Lag 2 directly into your game with the GPU Open relief of its SDK. The new technology is built on GPU Open, a platform for open source tools, technology, and resource created for games developer. The Anti-Lag 2 SDK will offer necessary tools, libraries, and documentation, allowing developers to integrate Anti-Lag 2 directly into their games to reduce game latency. And then it shows the RX 7900. It shows at 4K, it's at 19 ms, 7800 XT, 20 ms, 7600 XT, 23, 7700 at 1600. That's that 31 ms. Yeah, anti-lag, folks. Then it says, as competitive as fast-paced games require quick response to win the match, reduced game latency can significantly affect the gameplay experience, which is what the Anti-Lag 1 did. The Anti-Lag 1 was released in 2019, which was able to reduce the latency by a few milliseconds. In May 2024, the Anti-Lag 2 preview was made available in Counter-Strike 2, which promised to reduce the response time even further. Today, AMD has officially released the Anti-Lag 2 SDK for the game developers to implement the technology into their games, which will move the point of latency reduction from the GPU driver level to within the game logic. Typically, developers don't have control over input peripherals latency and the display latency. However, by implementing the anti-lag 2 directly into game processing pipeline just before the game polls for the user input, the latency can be reduced further. And then it says anti-lag 1 just works on the driver level, calculating the delay in the driver side processing of the game, graphics command, and controlling the flow of data between the CPU and GPU. This ensures the CPU frames weren't going too ahead of the GPU frames, which improve the input to image latency. Apart from having a similar operation, anti-lag 2 can now allow optimal alignment of the internal processing pipeline by inserting a small delay just before the game polls for inputs. AMD has explained and listed all the steps integrating Radeon anti-lag 2 into the games, and has also pointed out that it requires special attention when AMD FSR3 frame generation is enabled. This is to ensure that developers can pay attention to the additional anti-lag 2 function that are required for the new technology to know whether the frames are interpolated or not. Yeah, AMD folks, yeah. And you know the comment, you know the debaters, you know how they like to get. Thanks AMD, whilst Intel GPUs continue to crash on everyone's game. They need anti-ban too. Their anti-lag solution is created stutter and itching in numbers of games. This company's software solution are always half-baked. It is the same with FSR3. Go to Reddit and read all the problems that AMD anti-lag 2 is causing. And then someone else says, can be due low CPU usage. Try set power plants to high performance. Anyway, anything else on the game in front? See if I got something else here on the AMD side. All right, let's talk about what's this? Zen 6. Let me get this one and knock this out real quick. So what are we talking about? This Zen 6 here. It says AMD prepares replacement for HSA with OpenSLI starting next gen Zen 6 Ryzen and EPC families. Says AMD reveals plan to implement open source firmware into next gen 6 Ryzen and EPC CPUs for better transparency, security, and development. Then it says AMD OpenSil project announced in 2023 is now in good shape and looks to be on the time for AMD future processors. At the One Open Source Firmware conference in Germany, the company reveals its progress on the OpenSil project, indicating that the firmware will be ready for production within 2026. Says here, OpenSil was open source in June 2023 and is expected to completely take over AMD HSA in both client and server processors in the coming years. The progress of the project looks pretty much on time as per the slide shared by AMD of the OFSC 2024. The 6th gen AMD EPYC. This thing is running away from me here. Let me get it. Venice and Ryzen processor based on the Zen 6 core architecture will have this firmware at the production level. Furthermore, AMD has plans for further programs as well, which will allow it to release OpenSil code for a new platform 1 quarter after the hardware is launched. Then it says, as per the information, AMD has already conducted experimental ports to one of its motherboard, and with the launch of the Zen 6 processor, OpenSil will be used alongside the HSA V10 firmware. Initially, the HSA will be replaced eventually by OpenSil completely shortly, but the Zen 6 will still rely on pre-x86 platform security processor binaries. And then it says it's expected the HSA will be phased out completely by the time Zen 7 CPUs arrive, and AMD will strengthen its support for Core Boot, which is another open source firmware project, and will also make more contribution to tie-in Core with the transition to open source firmware. The dependency on AMD proprietary code will be reduced with community involvement. Open source firmware will allow community collaboration and contribution to developing the firmware for the better. And then it says, not only this will enhance the overall transparency, innovation, and security for AMD next-gen CPU, but it could also lead to other hardware manufacturers adapting open source firmware in the future. At the moment, AMD is active in the development of open source solutions for various production lines. That includes sound open firmware, secure encrypt virtualization firmware, and open BMC baseboard management controller software. Yeah, AMD folks. Who else we got? We got 1,100 comments here. Woo! The politicians, man. AMD politicians and debaters and commenters. Anyway, and yeah, AMD Zen CPU APU roadmap. Got the processor, server, high-end, mainstream desktop CPU, mainstream desktop notebook APU. Yeah, this is Zen 4, Zen Threadripper, Phoenix, Mendocino. Yeah. Zen 5, Zen 6. Let's see. Zen 7 TBA, Zen 6C Monarch, Zen 6 Morpheus, Zen 5 Nirvana, Zen 4 Persephone, Zen 3 Plus Warhol, and Zen 3 Cerebus. Yeah, that's a nice little roadmap, boy. AMD is busy, and I'm gonna say this: behind all this, the Steam Deck 2 is somewhere there. So we'd have to wait and see. But yeah, that's all the news I got to report on all AMD news. Let's see, it's 6th Gen AMD EPYC and Ryzen FW open source initiative. Yeah, AMD is busy, man. Whew. 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026. Refresher on AMD OpenSil development stages. Yeah, they're busy, folks. So you AMD nerds, you're good. Oh, by the way, that's all the news I got to report on the Steam Deck and Steam front and AMD. Anyway, anything else I find, I'll let you know. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Nice talking to you people. Again, Chris, still Star Wars and start playing, or Dark Side. Go. Peace.